Come in for the sky today. Let's see what the shapes and symbols have to say. Hi, my name is Steph. If you'd like to come on in for a little surreal story or symbolic support today, if you're new, welcome. If you're returning, welcome home. We're going to utilize the scrolls, scrying for shapes and symbols that may speak to our psyche and psychic senses. We'll add on Tarot and Oracle in the Shaman's Palm layout. And where Mr. Ghosty here is, as you've heard, we have Ghost Tube kicking for any audio editions from the afterlife that may further add to our abstract and ancient auric adventures. Overall, please do receive a release freely. And before we begin, I want to thank you for your time, attention, and awareness, as your presence and perspective is powerful. So gratitude galore for your likes, shares, comments, and subscribes. Let's go. If you're opening up with me, you know what we're going to do. So when you're ready, closing the eyes, taking a nice deep breath, releasing the race and the rush. Activating the abstract mind and ancient awareness to perceive and receive symbolic support. In the name and honor of anyone here at any time, thank you for being our muse, and may we all meet a message with meaning. All right, so I always have misfit scroll sets, so they're from different things, different made. Some are like OG, they're from all over. I love it. All right, you know the drill as well. If you see, sense, or feel anything, please feel well to comment below, as your expressions do expand the reading and we all get to read together. Few things. As I was setting up, the big deal, let there be light. There was a man in a window in a rocking chair, and I feel like maybe this was an uncle or a grandfather. He was definitely older, and he used to rock you when you were a baby. Could also be a parent. Jennifer and the light, and then let there be light. Well, there was lots going on as I was setting up. As well, we have here the whale rune that came through. If a whale symbol is standing out to you, and was kind of setting the stage for this session. The whale spirit brings regeneration, new beginnings, and provides a sense of calm. Whales made for life, they are caring animals and easily demonstrate affection. Your spirit whale can help you develop creativity and establish a peaceful contact with the divine. See, it was a lot. I'm sorry that it's also a lot maybe to step into, but it's just a lot. It was a lot stepping into today's session, but that's okay. I feel like, if I may, it's just coming in from a lot of directions. Like the afterlife was here, the animated realm was here, the animal realm was here. For one reason or another, just a lot. And there was also this gentleman, this older man that's been kicking around. He was, when I was outside having my smoke and my coffee, and he was standing over to my right side, but just kind of peeking out from this post we have. And at first it kind of startled me, and even my cat, Hubert, was like, what is this? Who is this? And he wouldn't come in the house, but he was like really close to me. So I was like, okay. And then when I was setting up from the window, it's like he was outside in the window looking in. So he's not like one of my usual peeps, I suppose I could say. But he was definitely kicking around. So he's all good. Like now he's over on my left side over there, and he's just kind of standing there. But it feels very nurturing, kind of like the whale. And very affectionate, whatever this affection is with, as I wrote it down, like the window, but there's a chair and rocking. Like maybe you have a child together if this was a spouse, and if this message is for one, thank you for holding space for them to receive it. Let's dig in. There's the glasses. He did wear glasses.
No thanks.
Okay. So there's a lot going on in the spectrum of like the rainbow, or the reflections of the rainbow. So it's the way I'm seeing the perceptions are coming in from different, you know, like when like you see a rainbow or a prism and it's reflecting different colors of the light, but it's all happening in different shapes. So now there's something happening over there. Okay, that's fine. It's all in different shapes and different forms, waves, particles, orbs, like it's all happening at the same time. So it's a lot, and I'm going to really try and ground it in, because it feels like, and maybe you're resonating with this on a collective level, personal level, and all the different channels that we might contend with: personal, professional, corporate, creative, the yada, yada,
Dress.
yadas. And it feels like if this is kind of like my skull of sorts, it's either this information is coming in or going out. I know this is a very old scroll, but it's like letting off some steam, but by letting off the steam, taking the pot off the lid of the stove top or whatever the case is of the soup, and all the steam comes, bellowing out. But then you can, from that steam being released, now I can see the water, I can see what my soup is doing, or I can see what I'm cooking up, and what temperature things are at, and all this kind of good stuff. There are sharks in my eyes. No, they're not sharks. What are those? Manta rays? Manta rays. So it's very wide. Like my pupils are manta rays, and they've got this flow happening, and they're spread out into this, almost to see in the different, I'm going to say spectrums again, but it's all in different coloring. There's somebody cutting down a tree here, like a Christmas tree, but there's like a 2-person saw. I can hear it. This is not a bad thing. It's coming from my third eye, and it's going to be built into a structure. So this tree it's not one on its own. Like, if I cut down this tree, this third eye tree, that there's nothing, it's already seeded for there's a forest there, is basically what I'm trying to say. There's a forest here. Imagine the whole forehead is a forest. And while this tree is stepped forward to be something, it's ready to be built and carved, cut down to make space, so the other trees will have, if I may, more light, because it's canopy. So something specifically in maybe your third eye space, or at least the way I'm feeling it right now, is this big old tree with the forest. It's ready to be cut and built into something, carved into something, and by releasing that, it creates space, and let there be more light for the forest, and then they all have their chance to grow, and whichever one will step forward. Does that make sense?
Leave.
Or am I just like, I feel like I might be I feel like I'm talking really fast, and typically for me, I'm like a hum and a hawner, but here I am. That's okay. That's cool. Let's add on some tarot and oracle along the way. And if you're part of the Secret Society, pish posh, we're so fancy over there. We'll flip it and we'll head over to the extended, see what more insights come through. I keep hearing this song. Can you feel the love tonight? Can you feel the love tonight? Hunter of Dreams is coming in the Cave of Ice. Oh, okay. I feel very confident here. So I'm noticing, at least in this petro or hieroglyph, there's a bow and arrow, which has been made from parts of this third eye tree.
Run now.
For focuses. I kind of feel like I'm getting a run on. I feel confident. Like when you see people that have like a really wide, it's like the manta ray thing in my eyes. A wide stance, not wide stance this way, but a wide stride. I gotta write that stuff down, because just stepped right into the liminal space here. A wide stride. And the bow and the arrow, everything has been built from this this metaphysical tree that is physically manifested to create tools to see manta ray style. And it's kind of like in this spectrum thing, if I may, I see you, it's a heart manta ray up there as well. Now, I don't even know what a manta ray symbolizes, but it just feels very wide and glidey. There's also this culmination coming up to this point, and I feel very welcomed. I feel very, very welcomed. Also, those Swedish fish candies. And I know the red ones are the standard, but I feel like I am seeing Skittles and those Swedish fish candies mixed. The colors of the Skittle, colors of the rainbow.
Above.
So I'm seeing the colors of the rainbow like a guitar, where each string has its own sound and emanating ability. And yet when we're looking at the rainbow, we look at it in its state, in its space of oneness. Like all those colors are a rainbow. We don't look at a rainbow and go, look at the yellow in the rainbow. We look at the rainbow. Rainbow. Bow. Okay, all right. Well, you're here with me if you're still here with me. Hunter of Gifts, coming in the cave of winds of the mind. Whatever this tree thing is, that tangible tools. And you're here, so you're very much so appreciative of the third eye and tangible tools. And you get the gift, you get the girl, you get it. You get whatever this gift is for you. Maybe some of you are sensing or starting to tune into different. I only say different based on someone's norm or habit. Our favorites, because we're either very comfortable in them, feel masterful, we feel good, we feel confident. They give us a wide stride. If you're working in your chakra areas, and it's like, okay, I have a wide stride here, I feel good and confident, and then I step up into the sacral. It's like, okay, it's a different feel here, but I'm good, and I'm going to get my footing supported by whatever learnings, ways, the yada yada yadas from the example of the red ray. I'm in the rays, not my forte. Now, I believe there's maybe some correlation between rays and chakras, because I'm seeing Alice Bailey. I think it's my Alice Bailey's books that talk about the rays, but I admit I didn't get through it all in just the way it was explained to me. And then I think wandered in with like Saint Germain, but same thing. It didn't resonate with me for one reason or another. But that's what's coming through. So it's not necessarily, if there's a correlation between maybe the chakras and the rays. I'm not saying that's truth. I don't actually know. But I'm seeing this correlations, and even that swapping of perspective of the trunk tree. It's like all the chakras from the third eye down are the root. Oh, yeah, okay. I feel very odd in this reading, so if my energy's like away, just that's how it's feeling, and I don't want to stop it. And if you're feeling that way too, know that it's okay to kind of think fast and think on your feet, and where we're going or what you're attending to. It's like, I'm going to step in knowing I might not be confident yet, or this might not even be something, whatever it is that you might continue to do for a long time, but you're going to step in supported by everything you've done before. Everything you've done before supports that. If it's success for a day, a workshop, a month, a year, or a lifelong dream. Hunter of Mysteries in the cave of hearth fires. Again, it's all very mysterious here. I know for me, I'm like looking for that tangible point. I'm in practice. I'm looking at the soup. I'm creating. I'm test tasting. How does the soup feel on the stove? Pull the pot off. It's been simmering. Needs a little bit more salt. Maybe a spice I've never tried before. But I'm not going to just try any random spice. I'm going to possibly, talk to my sister and she'll be like, oh, I added in some cumin or something. And I'll be like, well, she's a trusted source. And I'll be like, well, okay, all right. Maybe our palates are
How?
similar. Or right off the hop, I might be like, no, I know you like spicier types of things. That's not for me. These are all random examples, and hopefully it's making sense somewhere along the way. So I'm test tasting this, and I'm in practice, practice, practice. There's actually no state of completion I'm hearing. The soup is never done, because once you consume it, you will create another soup in this example, whatever it is. And maybe you'll think that, oh, next time I'll add some more potato. Next time I'm going to take out the onions, whatever the case is. So when I come into this practice, 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 because there's all of these bows. Again, I'm off. I'm confident. Okay, if I've gone, done it, my mind gets the goal. My thoughts get the gift. And then I practice like another technique. I'm back in the guitar world again. I don't play any sort of string instrument, but I feel
Fine.
like it's like learning a riff and then learning another riff. Making a soup and you're going to make another soup. Learning to work with your clairs, your confident clear audience, but you're going to bring clear audience to maybe work with, maybe it's clear smelling or whatever the case is. Maybe it's just intuition, the spectrum of intuition, and having these like nerd glasses on, not that you have to be nerd to wear glasses, but you put your lenses on like manta rays for a while to get that. It's almost like a something, people like pull it down because they whatever, like the bifocals, yeah, bifocals with the shaman of reflections to take a look at this, to look at the things, make things clearer, nearsighted, far-sighted, and not worrying about it, just adjusting the lenses for that. I also want to note in the Shaman of Reflections is very much so coming in. We're in the cave of rivers of feeling with kind of like all this shadowy smoke. But see how right in here, this very tall being is very comfortable with the cracks and crevices in the background. And they step forward, the concrete, the rock.
Lady.
Lady. I also want to note, let's get my Scrying out if it's not quite close enough. Do you see up there? It looks like new trees at the crown of the head. Oh, it's the forest that holds it, but it's the crown that's the canopy of all these blooms. New light, let there be light, let there be light in. And it's also something like, I don't know if it's the Amazon specifically in relation to a forest. Is the Amazon like a really ancient garden gone overgrown? And just gonna throw that out
Can you
there.
hear me?
And there are some things that need the shade as they gain strength, so that when they reach whatever heights they might reach, they have built the strength through having to, I don't want to say fight for the light or whatever this is, but those bigger trees are doing them a favor. They are being of service by their canopies being bright for shade. So when they get to reach their heights and then that big tree is ready to go or whatever the case is and meets up with it somewhere along the lines, it is strong. It's like seeing a windy day and the flowers, but they can gain strength and or flexibility from that, from those experiences. So there's something about perspective in the reflections of weather or weathering storms or something along that lines is not always as bad as it seems. And we sometimes when we come to cover or protect or help strengthen things, or what we feel is helping to
Am I
strengthen
dead?
something, might not actually be. Now, it's almost like interrupting the metamorphosis of, say, the butterfly. And I know that could be harsh, and I don't mean for it to come out that way, but hopefully you can Get what I'm putting down in your own way, shape, or form. Spirit of challenge. Now look at
This is
that.
strange.
Wisdom, like, it's like having your whole head, third eye, ears, crown, where this forest is, and there's an owl in the forest. You have carved out the owl. That's your, yeah, you've carved out the owl. And the challenges in making the soup and test tasting things, making things to taste, it's very positive. It's positive because of the process, because you were present for the process. All right, let's add on
And
an oracle card. I feel like you've been saying lots, so hopefully. Sometimes I know it's not for me and it's for whoever's out there. When they want my attention directly, they know what to do, and they will do it. All right. Closing out before we get to the extended, if you're going to join us, but no pressure. Laveria, card 14, Let Love Grow. This also brings me back into the afterlife folks that were here with us. And again, I use the term afterlife just as a common, the hereafter, but it's the here, even though we see them after. So I try to use hereafter more because it implies that oneness that I feel. It's here and the afterlife, but it's here. But for simplicity's sake, the hereafter. So if there's that embrace and that affection, reaching for your dreams, and knowing
statue.
when you're having a bad day,
Home.
and you have a bad day, it doesn't mean it's bad, right? Like a really good thing can come out of that by separating yourself from someone or something, or resting, stepping back, making your soup in a crock pot so you can carry on for the day. Apparently I want soup today, but there we go. The affection of having warm, maybe that's why it's so, when you have warm soup, Ellie, and you have a really good soup or any sort of meal, it like warms the whole body. It's like we all have heat in our homes, whether it's electric baseboard, oil heaters, propane, gas, some form of heat. But I can speak for myself when we moved out to the country and had a wood stove. Different heat, different heat. It just warms you in this most primal way, but makes you feel so safe in your own skin. And yet, as well, it took me some time to trust. Luckily, my husband deals with most of that, but he has taught me along the way. So I'm very capable, don't get me wrong. But it took me a while to trust the wood stove and the elements and the metal, just everything being right there. Like to see a live fire in your home, right there, a hearth there, a lot of respect and diligence. And yeah, there's extra work needed. There's extra dust. You have to do inspections. Get wood, pile wood. Anyway, well, for one reason or another, here we are. If you choose to have that kind of heat, or be able to visit it in the summer with campfires, go camping or in your backyard, you know what I mean? Like there's ways to not have to go through the whole hoopla, but enjoy the seasons that you can go out camping and receive it. I have no idea where I'm at. Honor your mystical creative force, card 22 with Orenda. The sacrifices have been done. If there's any sort of serpent around the neck, so for me, this serpent is especially coming in with the Hunter of Mysteries. It's like a mystery. What are you trying to say? Sometimes it's said in her tone. Sometimes it's felt, right? We know all the
Spirits
things.
are here.
But the sacrifices you've made, they're not for naught. They're all part of the culmination of your entire root rainbow. From our traditional root to our crown is one root. I feel very... Okay, I'm going to head on over to the other side to the extended if you're joining us. If not, I will see you again soon. So much love. I hope this did inspire, educate, or entertain. Until next time.